Well, good morning, Wareham. Today is Monday, March 16th. And as usual, we have a great show here for you despite the coronavirus situation that is happening throughout the country. On today's program, we have my interview with the superintendent that I did on Friday last week to talk about the closing of Wareham Public Schools and how that reality is going to look like. We're also going to be hosting Indiana Troop, who is a freshman at Wareham High School. And he's here today. Why? Because there isn't school today. But before we get to any of that, we are going to take this moment to thank Not Your Average Antiques, an antique shop down Cranberry Highway in East Wareham, for donating the props that you see in the morning show. So stay tuned because the news headlines and the weather report are next. Well, Governor Charlie Baker ordered that all schools in the state to be closed for 3 weeks starting tomorrow, March 17th. Restaurants are only permitted to do takeouts. These efforts are among states and nations' mitigation process against the spreading of the new coronavirus. The threshold for public gathering has been lowered from 250 person limit to 25. Baker's actions are some of the most aggressive responses in the country. Grocery stores and pharmacies will remain open. The governor pleads, do not hoard. There have been 138 COVID-19 cases confirmed in the state as of current. Town of Wareham is implementing temporary mitigation measures in light of the new coronavirus and the pandemic beginning today, March 16th. Town Hall will not be open to the public. Residents are encouraged to call ahead to see if their needs can be accomplished without a face-to-face interaction. All non-town meetings and non-essential committee meetings are canceled, including the Council on Aging, the Wareham Free Library, the Meals on Wheels program. However, it's going to keep on functioning. Assistant Town Administrator Doreen Allen England has been named the Public Information Officer for the town. The town also advises residents to keep on washing their hands and watch for symptoms including fever, cough, and shortness of breath. And shoppers rush to Wareham stores in anticipation of a local coronavirus outbreak. Walmart completely ran out of toilet paper, Lysol wipes, bleach, hand sanitizer, alcohol gloves, and masks on Thursday, and the store was fairly busy right until closing. In WCAI, NPR station in Woods Hole reports a coronavirus case has been confirmed in Barnstable County. The man is reported to be in his 60s and from Sandwich. A posting on the town website says officials were notified by the state's Department of Public Health, and it reads in part, the resident who is presumptive positive and all household members who are not currently symptomatic are adhering to Department of Public Health orders for isolation and quarantine to limit the risk of spread and will be monitored by Eastern health officials on a daily basis. In order to protect the residents' medical privacy rights, no additional information can be disclosed. And this concludes this morning news headlines. Coming up is the weather forecast. Sunny today, but oh my, it is frozen. So make sure you dress up nice and warm, okay? You can even bring back your hats and your winter boots. High today at around 38 degrees and lows overnight around 31 degrees. Tomorrow we will experience some showers during the day. Highs are around 49 degrees. Winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies at night with low around 33 degrees. Wednesday, mostly sunny skies. High, wow, could go up to 51 degrees. Some showers later at night, and we're looking at 37 for the low. Thursday, cloudy with periods of rain, high near 50 degrees, winds at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Rain is a definite, and the lows around 46 degrees at night. And that concludes this morning and week's weather forecast. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to continue with more. Well, Indiana is in the studio, but before we get to him, we have a video to play. My interview with Superintendent of Wareham Public Schools that took place on Friday last week. Okay. Take a look. How are you coping with so overchanging of information regarding coronavirus?
Well, it's such a changing event that in any given day it changes 5, 6, 7 times. So we're just doing our very best to stay on top of the situation and make any adjustments that we need to make.
Yes. Now, some school districts in Massachusetts have already closed, and they're projecting even to remain closed until the end of April. You did mention under Wareham Week that you are working on, if it comes that the state says you should close, you're working on a plan. How would you determine if to close a school or not?
Well, there's several things that we're considering. One would be certainly if we had an active case or a suspicious case in this area, that would be a determining factor. Mm-hmm. We're also watching our attendance rates. We're seeing parents keeping their children home. Also, as far as with staffing, are we able to staff the buildings? And then are we able to continue to get subs? Mm-hmm. So there's a number of factors that we're looking at that are helping us make a determination of what we're going to do. Our number one priority is to make sure that our students are safe. You know, the other thing that we are certainly taking under a high advisement is the fact of social distancing and keeping our students, but keeping our staff apart, and hoping that that keeps everybody from virus free.
Yes. Now, one thing that have completely been canceled are activities, student activities. Do you foresee how long this will be?
No, I don't. We're canceling all activities as far as students going on field trips as of today. We're also limiting access to our buildings. So if we have groups that have rented our buildings for building use, we're not going to be allowing that to take place, just because we're working very hard to make sure our buildings are cleaned and sanitized every night, that we don't need disruptions in doing that. So that we feel like that will give us a little bit more of time and an advantage.
Now, Plymouth closed their building for a couple of days in order to clean, and also they had a suspicious case. Are we looking to do the same, close the building to clean?
No, not right now. If we had a suspicious case, absolutely, we would do a very, very deep cleaning. But right now, we've been planning for this, and so we've been able to make sure that we have a lot of the equipment that we need and the supplies that we need. So every night, everything is sanitized, and we're taking special care with the handles, with the railings, with the tables, et cetera, just to make sure that we have done everything possible.
How are our kids coping with this? Do they understand what's going on?
Well, I think, I think so, and I think that there's such anxiety around this, that from parents or from the community, that, we see our students kind of the anxiety level coming up some. And so that's another issue that they're working through with our students.
May you please talk in length about what you're planning in case, as you said, if we have to close the school, how that's going to look like?
Sure. Well, a couple of things that we really worry about with our students would be feeding. And so we have a plan set up, so if we close, what will happen, we have 8 stations set up through the town, and we will be providing meals through the length of our closing. It will be a grab and go. We will have a couple of hours. We'll be announcing that, and it will be on our website. And what we would need is a parent or guardian merely to come to the site, pick up the number of meals in bags that they need, and just go on for the next day they'll be back. We've already talked to the Department of Ed for the meals. We know that we're approved for doing that. One of the things that we are exploring would be, are we allowed to provide additional snacks? We've not received guidance on that. And also we do a number of backpacks on the weekends for our students, and we're exploring how can we continue that for our kids to go home, because we really do worry about the feeding. We also have been having discussions for a while with our department heads, with our principals, planning if we do need to close for a period of time, how could we continue learning online? We have Chromebooks, of course, so our teachers use Google Classroom, and so we've been working with different platforms, creating different templates that can be implemented so our students can continue some type of learning. For our younger students that are not Chromebook or accessible, and we do know that we have some families who do not have Wi-Fi, so we've been looking at developing packets that they can take home and continue the learning. Today we had a conference call, and what we were told by the commissioner, that we will make up 5 days. So we could be out 15, 20 days, but we will be required to make up the 5 snow days that we have. Everything will be finished by, right now, the way it stands, June 22nd. We will not extend into June farther than that. The other thing is that's coming rapidly upon us is MCAST. Mm-hmm. Currently, it's still scheduled for the end of March, first part of April, but that's being looked at by the Ed department to see if they're going to make some arrangements and flexibility with that.
Absolutely. We have MCAS. I mean, the seniors, how concerned are we that they will be ready to graduate and if we are going to have a graduation ceremony?
Yes. You know, right now there are a lot of what ifs. And so we're just trying to take what we know in the moment, make the best possible decision, and then move forward. I know that not everybody will understand why we've made certain decisions. I fully understand that, but I do hope that people understand the decisions we do make are made in the best interest of our students.
Absolutely. Now, it's understandable to have kids stay home in case there is a suspicious case in the town, but the criticism is parents may not be home. They need to go to work. How are we preparing for that?
I know that's quite a dilemma for us because we know that a number of our parents must work, but on the other hand, I can't very well open school to provide daycare when we're closed and when we're looking at preventing a spread of a virus, and that's a concern of ours. And we're not really quite sure how to get around it. I've been in contact with the Y, and I don't believe that the Y has made a decision yet to see if they're going to be open, if we would close. The last I heard from the Boys and Girls Club, they would follow our suit, so if we would close, it would be likely they would close. So, yeah, that is an issue.
Okay. Now, so you said there are a lot of speculations. The situation is changing by the minute, by the day. What is something definite we know?
There's a couple of things. Number one, we're doing everything possible to prepare for something that we've never had to deal with, never. And so we're trying to think of all possible scenarios. And I know for certain we will not think of everything. So that's one thing I do know.
Yeah.
The other thing is we're willing to answer any questions that people may have because this is new to everybody. What we're trying to do is to make the best decision possible to keep our students, our town, and our personnel safe. And so, if anything, we'll err on the side of caution.
Now, for those canceled trips, especially like in April, student trips, will they be rescheduled later on, you think?
Well, right now, we know that the trip that was canceled to Europe has been rescheduled for October. Unfortunately, some people aren't going to be able to make it, and that's a situation that we're trying to work through, so it's a win-win for everybody. I'm not sure we're going to make that goal, and I certainly understand that it's a difficult situation for families.
Absolutely.
We're looking at the Washington trip for our 8th grade students that has been canceled. We are looking at a rescheduled date because we do feel like our students, that's a valuable learning experience, but we also know that there are museums in Washington that are closed, and so we want to make it the most opportune as possible, so we're going to delay and wait till we can have our students experience Washington.
Very good. What message do you have for parents?
That this is a situation that we're trying to do what's best for your child. It's not ideal. It's not something that we ever thought we would be preparing for. And we just need everybody to work together to help us, to offer positive suggestions. And as long as we work collectively, then the outcome will be the very best it can be.
Very good. Well, is there anything you want to add? I didn't ask.
We will keep updating our website. And if you go to our website, there's an icon that says, I think, Corona 19, something like that. That's where we'll keep updating messages. Of course, we will be sending messages out through the phones, through email. And of course, if people have questions, do not hesitate to email. We will do our very best to answer in a timely fashion. And just to be patient with us.
Just to be patient. Very good. Well said.
Thank you.
Well, welcome back. Not the coffee segment, but much better than the coffee segment. It's a tea segment. Not really. We have my guest today, Indiana Troop, a freshman at Wareham High School. You call yourself what? Student extraordinaire?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is. Yes. So Indiana is among thousands of students across the country who are not in school today for a very good reason, because of the coronavirus outbreak. So any other kid, you would imagine, what time is it? Closer to 9, well, around 9, closer to 10. They'll be still sleeping, but Indiana is here, and he woke up much earlier than I did. He's here to talk about coronavirus. So welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
You insisted on coming to share specifically on this topic.
Right.
Okay, tell me what you have learned so far.
I've learned tons, and I think the biggest thing I want to address is so a lot of my friends, when I tell them about the coronavirus and stuff like that, they say it's just the flu. It's nothing to worry about. And it is something to worry about, because there's a lot of differences. Yes, there's some similarities, similar symptoms, stuff like that, but there's a lot of differences. There's still so much we don't know about COVID-19, which is the type of coronavirus that is wreaking havoc right now. We find out new things every day. It's so changing. And with the flu, we know how long the season is. We know how long someone's infected with it. We know how to treat it. We know how to prevent it. We have flu vaccines, Tamiflu, all these things, and we don't have any of that with COVID-19. We have some testing. So I think that really goes to tell, the severity of it. And, scientists can predict that it's more infectious and more deadly than the common influenza virus. So it's even, scientists have said it's more deadly than H3N2, H2N2, which was Hong Kong flu, Asian flu. It's something to worry about and take caution about.
And even though the mortality rate is very low, but you do not want to be that case.
Right. Well, that's the other thing. The numbers for that. So 1 in 1,000 people die from the common influenza virus. That's 0.1 to 0.3% roughly. And the coronavirus, COVID-19, is anywhere from 3.8 to 4.2%. So that's 30 to 40 out of 1,000, which is 1 in 25 people. So you see the governor's ban on events that are larger than 25 people. And if you think you go to an event with 25 people and you all get infected with the coronavirus, one of you is going to die.
Absolutely, and also spreading it to the most vulnerable people, of course, the elders. Also even young children whose immune system is not up to date yet. All right, so these are really crucial informations, and the information that is out there, people taking, not taking the matter seriously. But I think mostly it's because people are frustrated. Schools are closing. Right? Tell me about that.
So we went to school Friday. It actually was almost a normal day. And actually starting Thursday, our teachers were testing online classes with us, online meetings, group FaceTime, stuff like that. and that's what a lot of our Thursday and Friday comprised of. And then we went into last period on Friday, and the principal, Mr. Palladino, came over the announcements and said, clean out your lockers, bring everything you're going to need for the next few weeks. There's a huge probability that school's going to close. And then about 10 minutes later at a meeting with the teachers, they announced that school was going to be closed for the next week. So 1 week is 5 school days, and that's built into the schedule as snow days. So we wouldn't have to do any makeup work, anything like that, any online coursework. And then yesterday, the governor came over and said 3 weeks. And we were already, I mean, the students already kind of thought we were going to go a little longer than that 1 week. But 3 weeks, and then he even put in there, the governor said it could possibly be longer than that. It probably will be. I mean, we look at other countries, and I just got the numbers, so there's about 3,500 cases in the United States right now of coronavirus that's positive. And around the whole world, there's 173,000.
Well, Italy, they just reported that Italy yesterday, the number of people dying from this disease spiked.
Right.
Yes, they lost a lot of people.
So, I mean, you compare the two, and 3,000 out of 170,000, I mean, compared to the cases in China where it's like 100,000, that just goes to show that you can predict that this is just the beginning of it, and it's going to get worse from here.
The good news is that China is keeping things at bay, and the life there is getting back to normal to some capacity.
Yep.
And we'll see if this virus will come back. You know, sometimes things subside, and then they come back full blown out. So we need to take the precaution measures. So how does it feel to not be in school? I mean, how are your fellow students coping with this? Is staying home and learning, how is that? How is that working?
I've heard a lot of mixed opinions, which you wouldn't believe, because I get told all the time, even I am always like, oh, I want a break from school. All my friends are like, oh, I don't want to go to school, I just want to stay home. And now the state's saying 3 weeks, stay at home, do some work online. And people are upset about it because they want to go to school. And it's crazy. But I think it's not really the school part that is the concern. It's that all around the world, Disney World is closed for, this is the first time Disney World's been closed for this long. And it probably is going to be closed for a lot longer. Disney's projecting that it's going to lose anywhere from 500 million to 800 million, which is huge numbers. The NHL, the MLB, the NBA, restaurants, bars, fitness centers, non-essential businesses are all closed. So it's not just, and we're being asked to stay at home and
but stay in isolation.
Right,
yeah, it's
social
not
distancing.
it's not the vacation. It's not like summer.
Exactly.
Yes, and
so it's not that break we all wanted.
Absolutely. And you mentioned crucial things like businesses losing money. This small town, I mean, we have a couple mom and pop shops.
Oh, yeah.
They can only do takeouts, but that is going to really affect them. People who have to stay home and not go to work.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have some of your fellow students who are going home and their parents cannot stay home with them.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I talked to one of my friends, and he works at a pizza place, so he's still going to be working. But if he worked at a sit-in restaurant, he'd be out of a job.
Absolutely.
And he has to pay car insurance, all that stuff. So it's affecting people.
Yeah. So is texting now popular, saying hi, how you doing? Because and calling because you can't see each other, or
lots of FaceTime.
A lot of FaceTime and interacting. So, doing your schoolwork from home, do you have to wake up or log in your computer the same time as you would being in school? How does it? You no idea?
We know just as much as everyone else does right now. We do know we're going to be required to log into Google Classroom and complete work online. We don't know if that's going to mean our teachers are going to want us to call in and do a certain thing like that. We don't know yet. So we'll learn as everyone else does. But I know the middle school is arranging to have parents and families pick up the Chromebooks that they normally keep at school. And the school is doing a wonderful program where they'll have 9 spots throughout the town where they'll be serving
To-go
lunches and
yeah.
breakfasts, which is an awesome thing. Not all towns are doing that out of the 351 in Massachusetts. So it's a really great program. I'd say to take advantage of that. I think it's 9 to 11 p.m. They're at the 9 spots, and you can go on warehamps.org for more of that information.
Now, not only did you have to, you're going to be missing school for 3 weeks, but at least you're a freshman. I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm saying this because things can get back to normalcy. But you had, all your trips have been canceled,
Yep.
all your events have been canceled,
Yeah.
and you're very involved
Yeah.
when it comes to school life.
Right.
Yeah.
I had 6 events in the coming 3 months that I was going to attend. One was in Nashville, one was in Chicago. I have one in Springfield. Going to Europe on the France and Benelux trip. All of them have been postponed or canceled. The only one that's been postponed is the France and Benelux trip, but all the other ones are canceled. So
And that
it's-
postponed to October.
Right, and that's posing some difficulty for students too. I haven't even made a decision on whether or not I'm going to go yet because the options are you lose a huge chunk of the money, about a fourth of what you paid for the trip, and you get the rest back, or you can go in October, miss 4 school days, miss fall sports. So it's a big decision for a lot of kids, so I'll be interested to see how it pans out. But I believe they're opening registration back up for the trip because it's far away now. I'm not positive on that, but I believe that's what they're doing. But and then you go to how I'm only a freshman, and it's not affecting me a whole lot because I still have 4 more years. But then we have seniors who Mr. Wareham, which is a big event for seniors, got canceled. They're looking at prom now. They're looking at graduation even. And I mean, sports are canceled or postponed until April 30th, and that's when schools are going to get back in. Actually, schools are getting back in April 7th, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But people are distraught that they're missing out on sports seasons and their senior year, and it's tough. So
It is. I could only imagine. I
Right.
mean, you're talking about, okay, Mr. Wareham or
Yeah.
prom, but these are the events
yeah,
that make up your high school
exactly.
career, your high school life. We all, put up with the 3 years, so the 4th year can be exceptional.
Right, and then I feel like the reason people are panicking isn't because of social media, and it isn't because of this pandemic is no different than any other pandemic. We're on a track right now to far succeed any other pandemic that's happened in recent times. I mean, I talk to my parents, and they say they've never been out of school for 3 weeks. Disney World has never been closed like this. I mean, for you, has anything happened like this
No,
ever?
absolutely not. I have
So-
nothing to compare it to, absolutely.
And Bob's even saying no over there. So it's
Well, I'm very happy, and I think it's going to really help a lot of people hearing from you.
Yeah.
Because truly, yes, parents are facing the brunt of it, but also other students because this is your life, and it's
Right.
been completely disrupted. But I'm so happy to know that you went and did your homework, did your
Yeah.
research, and you are well informed and hopefully helping others to stay well informed and take this seriously.
Right.
So we can go back to normalcy very soon.
right.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah.
What are your plans for the week?
My plans, catch up on schoolwork, catch up on my TV shows, and, work on some new projects. I'm
Yeah.
actually working on a documentary about COVID-19 and the effects it's had on students and stuff like that, so I'll be working on that a lot. But I did want to just say real quick, there's a group on Facebook, I believe it's called Wareham Helping Wareham, and I highly suggest to check that out because it's basically parents and other people coming together and saying, who needs food for the week? Who needs rides to go get food? Who needs their kids watched? So it's a really great group, and even if you're not in need of help, if you are willing to provide help to people, go onto that group and see what you can do, because really we need to help each other. I mean, Massachusetts is being a trailblazing state here, doing all this stuff, but we don't know how long this is going to last and what the effects are going to be. So if you can help out, please join that group.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
being here.
Yeah.
So that was Indiana Troop, a freshman at Wareham High School, and he was here to talk about what he has learned about the coronavirus and his student life so far. He's coping so well, and he's helping his fellow students to cope. We are still all in limbo here. We do not know what's going to happen, but for sure, the state is doing all it can to mitigate the spreading of this virus. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to do Today in History.
Today's cell phones are not only an extension of our arms, but a life tool. Hello, I am Maureen Farrington from Advantage Custom Apps. I am here today to talk about a certain app, a tool that will help you navigate your way through the Wareham community. The WCTV app places your local community in the palm of your hand. The app is a place where you will find local events, town meetings, local and school sports, community interest stories, compelling interviews, and most of all, the ability to shop local. Connect to the Wareham app by going to your web browser and typing in wctv.app. And then, once you bring up the web link, you have the opportunity of adding WCTV's app to your home screen. Once you download the app and save it to your home screen, you will then have the opportunity to, with the touch of a finger, hit the call button, which we call WCTV, the refer us button. You can refer the app to your friends and families. There's a Facebook share button if you'd like to put that on your Facebook page as well. And here is the menu tab. On the menu tab, we have YouTube videos, new program proposal, events that WCTV is hosting, a photo gallery, contact button, and can lead you right to their website. We also have a Shop Local tab. When you touch on that, you'll see the local businesses that you can frequent. Also, there's an About Us tab telling you some information about WCTV, their hours and directions. This here will take you right to their Facebook page. There is a donate button if you would like to donate to WCTV, and a join button that will let you join their community. Many local establishments are listing their business on the WCTV app. And you can too. It's a great way to showcase your business to your existing customers and your potential new ones. For a nominal fee, you could list your business on the Shop Local tab as well. A percentage of that fee goes to fund a scholarship for an outgoing senior. So be in the now and get the WCTV app on your home screen.
Great. Good morning, and thank you for being with us this morning. We are broadcasting live from our WCTV studio in Wareham. This is Good Morning Wareham, your source for local news, weather, traffic, and more information. And now for a moment in history, let's take a look at where we were today in history. On this day in flight history, the first liquid-fueled rocket was launched in 1926, happening right here in Massachusetts. A man by the name of Robert Goddard made a 10-foot tall rocket that flew up to 41 feet high and reached 60 miles per hour. Despite this, the rocket only flew for a total of 2.5 seconds. Gordon took inspiration from the science fiction novel War of the Worlds. Also today in literature history, the American classic The Scarlet Letter was released in 1850. The book, written by Massachusetts native Nathaniel Hawthorne. Takes place in colonial America in the mid 1600s. The book was one of the first books in America that was mass produced and was very popular in the US when it first came out. Today, high school students get to enjoy the book in their English classes. Also today in war history, the flight on Iwo Jima ended in 1945. Weeks of fighting between American and Japanese forces ended with over 25,000 people dying. Iwo Jima was where one of the most iconic images of the World War II was taken, when 6 Marines raised the American flag on Mount Sorbachi. Though this victory did not mark the end of the war, it was a large victory for the Allied forces. And as usual, we always celebrate a birthday here, and today's shout out goes to James Madison. Born in Virginia in 1751, he was the 4th president of the United States, and he was one of the Americans' founding fathers. He lived to the age of 85 years old. Happy birthday to him, and happy birthday to everybody else celebrating their big day today. And that is all I have for today in history. To learn more cool historical facts, please go online under history.com. Stay with us because the coffee segment is next, and today we are watching a second episode on the Finding New Sanctuary series that I'm producing. Finding New Sanctuary is a 501c3 that pairs dogs and veterans with invisible wounds. The program is based on a unique behavioral method that develops deep connection with dog. Veteran can read dog's reflection of veteran's emotional state. Dog transitions from therapy to companion to best buddy. They can also experience support and trust journey back home. So take a look.
Hi, I'm Lynn Carley, co-founder of the Finding You Sanctuary, working with veterans, and I also am chairperson. And this is Tessie, our dog, and John, her owner. And we're going to work together on a grooming issue that she developed, and it was really mainly because John had fun playing with her, and she decided play was all you're going to do. So when we get her up on the table, I'll begin again on what we're doing. We go to do her front legs. She wants to bite, but it is not a vicious bite, it's a play bite. But that was misunderstood by the last groomer, and she got fearful, and Tess took it on as playtime. Oh, that thing just wants to stay there. Here, John.
That changed right up.
There you go. So, just, we've been working, John's been working on asking her for her paw. Paw. Good. So before she grabbed your hand, and I kind of paw. Good girl. Touching your toes. No, see, now she's going to get mad. So I wait. And we wait. No bite. Good girl. This to her is not what she wants. And I'm not holding it hard, I'm just holding it. So she's mad. But her turning her head, she's just like, I'm not interested in what you're doing, but she's not going to argue with me. Good girl. Stay. All right, you're gonna give me this paw. Paw. Come here. Hope I'm not in the way. Paw. Good. Touch. Because she couldn't be clipped, brushed, and we're working on it. John, you've been doing a good job on her. What a good girl. Yes, good girl. Right, wait. Because now, I'm not going to use treats only for the reason that's what she expects. Put that in front of her so she can look at the clippers, because I know you've seen them. So, paw. Oh, see, this is the... Hey. Hey. No bite. But I don't move when they bite, because I'm not threatened by it. She's not grabbing me hard, but boy, is she warning me not to do anything. So then we start to brush, because she turned her head. which means that she's not happy with what I'm doing, but she's just going to be a good girl and stay. We could not brush her before, because I have learned not to back off from dogs. Very good girl. And what I teach people is that dogs are dogs, and all dogs hate their front legs done. It's not any different for her than it is for any nice dog, not so nice dog. They all have the same behavior. It's how you deal with it. If you react, and that's what I teach everyone, is reaction is not about, because she will go back at you. Like if I had reacted to her grabbing my foot, no bite. And see how I don't react? Because it's not, she's not being mean, she's just used to getting what she wants. And so this is her life. She must learn to be groomed and to be touched. And so what I do is I don't react to it, and I'm not afraid of it. But I respect her enough to stop, wait, and not react. And I don't believe she's ever had her nails cut, so we're gonna do that today. And we may or may not need a muzzle, but I try without the muzzle first. What a good girl. And I can say good girl to her when she's ready to hear it. That can bring on excitement or whatever. And I just, no bite. No bite. See, I'm stopping, no bite. And then I go back. Good. No bite. No bite. It's at the brush, it's at the hand, no bite. Good. No bite. Paw. Hey. No bite. Paw. She can't get away with me, and that's all. You just wait. And if I had bites, see this brush, she really hates it. Why do you hate it? Stop. If I had bites on me, I'd be bleeding. So she's just grabbing. Good girl. So I'm just figuring her out right now. And what I want is to be sure I know if I'm going to use a muzzle. Pop. Pop. No bite. Good girl. No bite. The overall mission is how we react, how we feel towards the dog's behavior, how we can change it by changing ourselves. So what I've done, instead of getting angry with her, fearful of her, I chill out. I give her what she needs from me, which is a little respect, because she doesn't like what I'm doing. But I also am earning her trust, because I'm not forcing it. I'm not holding her tight. I do pick it up. She has to learn to accept it. It is how I teach her by just showing her what needs to be done without reacting back at her, which is the best thing to do with a dog, and just standing your ground, which I do. When I stop, pop, pop, good. And when she goes to grab, I stand my ground, so it means I don't move. Shh, shh, shh. Wait, good. And then I wait for her to get over it. And that's a no argument, nothing. I am telling her what I want, but respecting that she needs to figure it out and not be creepy about it. Yeah, because I'm not forcing, I'm just asking her to give it to me, which she's doing very well at. Paw, paw. No, no bite, good girl. Now, muzzles must be used with a good thought in mind. A happy, joyful, not angry, not frustrated, but definitely, and I let her sniff it. The muzzle for me should be used with respect, a little joy mixed in with that, because this is all good. It's just nobody gets hurt in the meantime. Here. Good. Very good. Good girl. Let's see you all. Very good. The muzzle is not about being the bad dog. It's just about keeping everybody safe and calm. I've used muzzles on dogs that I have surrendered to me that are very aggressive. And I use muzzles so that I can get them out in the world. And she needs the muzzle so she can get through her thoughts and nobody gets hurt. So we're gonna do paw. That's a good, see, she's concerned. And so I'm just gonna wait. This takes time. I don't take a dog in and work with it and get it all done at once. I take my time and I relax into it. This is a panic attack, so I'm not gonna panic with her. We're gonna wait. I love this muzzle because they can pant, they can drink, you can give them a treat, but she's totally doesn't trust any of this. So when I use it, I make sure that it's not used in any kind of anger, frustration, or anything. And we wait. This is her not having someone take their time with her. So this is why I do this. This is like I have them come on a different day when I'm not doing groomings. This is why, this is what we do with her. She just needs to trust, and she doesn't. This is a panic that she goes through. She's totally panicked. Stop. Shh. Give me a paw. Good girl. No. Good. Okay, and they do all go through a process every time you work with a dog. As you're changing their thinking, they will go through a process of fight, flight, then avoidance. Hers is now total avoidance. She's already fought me, so now she's avoiding. She wants out of here. Then they finally surrender to it. So it takes time. Submit. I'm going to say submit to it. Surrender comes after. This is the fight. No. 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 The pushing in, believe it or not, when predators go after prey, they push into the predator because they can't grab as good. So dogs will do this, and areas why they're doing it is it's because they want you away. No. Oop. Just banged on it. Paw. 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 That's good. Come on, give paw. Okay. Toes. Toes. Good on the toes. Don't fall off. All right, yes, stay right there. Because this dog was treat oriented to the point where you could do stuff with this, but when she shut down and wouldn't have any part of it, paw. Tessie, get paw. No? Paw. Good paw. Foot. Good foot. Toes. Good toes. And it's one at a time, so I bring it up to my fingers by pushing it that way. Now I'm going to ask her for her paw, and while you're giving her the treat, I'm going to cut one nail. Okay. Okay? And it's this one, so we'll switch sides. Okay. So ask her for a paw. Toes. Bring the treat right to her. Good. Stay. Paw. Good. Yeah. She's so distractible. We finished. That was good. That took a while. That took a long time. Wow. What we just did with her is what I will be working with all the veterans. It is a connection we need to make with our own dogs to earn their trust through respect of what they need from us. So what she had to learn from me is that the nails are important, her front legs are important, but I will be asking all the veterans to come in with either their dogs or the rescue dogs that we get, and that is the first thing they learn to do, is they will learn to do their own grooming time. That is the deepest connection, because groomers really, if you think about it, they're very intimate with these dogs. I mean, we work on hip to toe kind of stuff, but we need to do so much that we don't normally do at home. And that is a connection made because when they allow it finally on their own terms, with us pushing through, setting the rules all the time, is that they become very trusting of the touch, of being held, and that is so important to a dog's world. But what I see that it does to most people is that it brings pride and much more love. Your heart opens when they allow you to do things, and a connection starts from the heart, and that's usually where I find myself feeling amazing, is in my heart. And it will happen with the dog, and they will willingly let you do things even though you know it's not their favorite. But that is an amazing gift that we can give each other, the dog and the human. So veterans need to learn to do that, also civilians, but it is a very important part of their life, is they be involved in the whole process of what we do with dogs, what's necessary, the grooming, going to the vets, taking them out for walks, everything. So that's what I just did, and it's weird because it's all about the toenail being cut and the leg being touched and the brushing to be done. They have a lot of kill shelters that do have these kind of dogs that are just dumped, and hopefully they get adopted out, or else they have to get euthanized. There's others that are no kill shelters. They'll keep the dog, but they do ask that first question: has your dog ever bitten anyone? If that is said yes to, they don't take it. And I have two in there that's what happened with them. And the rescues wouldn't have it. Even the breeder wouldn't take the dog back. A beagle, and then I had a poodle cross, and the poodle cross was a rescue. He bit, but no one told him no. And when I took him 3 months later, he no longer was a biter. Dogs are labeled aggressive, difficult to work with, misunderstood, because their DNA tells them to do this, and we need to say, no, we can't have you do it this way, we'll have you do it this way. So they must learn from us how to be with us, and we need to learn how to be with them. And that's what I have found working with dogs that have an issue. They're not mean, they're not aggressive, but they are dogs, and in their mind, everything they do is right. And so when they start acting badly in our minds, it's when we have not done it right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning for another episode of Good Morning Wareham Show. This episode, if you missed us, will re-air this evening at 6 p.m. and will also go on our YouTube, Wareham Community Television on YouTube. Today, I have a new documentary coming out about opioids addiction. Testimonies from parents, 7 communities talking about their loved ones who they lost due to this disease. And in light of the coronavirus, I would like to, I don't know what to say I'm sorry for everybody else who is facing the brunt of this, financial brunt of this. And hopefully we can all survive together. Just remember to wash your hands, to keep your distance. And if you're experiencing any symptoms, please do go to get checked. Thank you so much for today. I'll see you back on Friday.